Hello there, I'm Jimmy PRT, and today I have quite the salty deck to present to you. So today I'll be trying a deck called Extra Salty Surf and Turf, which was made by the user Cello. The plan is simple. We disrupt the opponent as much as we can until we can enjoy the late game. How will we achieve this, you might ask? By bouncing the opponent's lands back to their hands with the help of many spells, such as Hoodwink, Boomerang, Eye of Nowhere, and even Fogbringer. Now, Bouncing Land is good and all, but it will not be enough. With the help of Olfatara and Turf Wound, we make sure that the opponent won't be able to play those lands for at least a turn. And this is why this deck is called Extra Salty. For the late game, since we do want to win in the end, we play with Azure Fleet Admiral to gain the Monarch, to draw some cards, and just to have more in the end resources than the opponent, as well as 4 copy of the Tolarian Terror to win by combat damage. To help with this whole plan, we need a few removal and utility spells. So we do play with Theory Cannonade, Cast into the Fire, Snap, and Fire and Ice. And to finish it off, for some card advantage, we also play 3 copies of Ren Resolves. For the sideboard, we want to keep the Bouncing Lands theme as much as we can. So we do play with 4 copies of Active Volcanoes to play against any blue decks, as well as 4 copies of Flash Flood to play against any red decks. Then 3 copy of Fade Away will help us deal with go wide decks, 1 Smash to Dust for a utility removal, and 3 Tormod's Script to help us against any Graveyard Matter decks. You can find the deck list in the description, and if you enjoy the content, please leave a like and subscribe, it really helps out, and otherwise enjoy the gameplay. I will go first. Okay, we have quite a good hand. With the Hoodwink being able to bounce their first lands already. So yeah, I will keep this one. We are going to play an island first and then pass. So against tap land, this is absolutely devastating for them. Since, well, this is problematic. Here I could even just exile it. I think this is what I will do main phase. Exiling it is even worse for them. So basically this deck is Ponza. Oh. Well, this is what happens. Now I wonder how many people will simply give up and concede. I feel like the only way that we could really test out this deck would be in the league. This way people don't want to give up. But I will keep this hand. We still have the Cast into the Fire and Ren's Resolves. Obviously, we need double blue now because I have Nowhere and Boomerang are both 2 blue pip. But yes, this is an okay hand. We can deal with it. Oh, again, Artifact Land. This is really good against the current meta, just because people play bridges all the time. And tap land as well, so I'm going to simply cast into the fire their lands. We are then exiling their bridge. And then we pass a turn. Now I need to draw cards. They only have 2 lands. Another blue pip would have been really cool. I could have bounced their tap lands. However, now I think I will cast Ren's Resolve, hoping to get a land. So we do get a mountain. We are going to play the mountain for turn. And I think we are going to pass. We do need another blue source though. We do need another blue source, for sure. Okay, and they start ramping. So this is definitely what I would need. Another blue source so that we can start bouncing their lands. Okay, moving to our turn. This is perfect. Okay. So now we could bounce, for example, or we could even play. Now, I think here it might be necessary to just bounce their lands. So I'm going to boomerang their red source. And then we're going to pass the turn. We still have the fire active that we can use if they play any creature. Fortunately, we were not able to play the Tolarian Terror. Okay, so for example here, this is perfect. We can just cast fire, targeting one for the Overseer and one in their face. They gain back one, obviously, because of the Inspiring Overseer trigger, but now now I will bounce again another land. We would need more lands for sure, but let me bounce back their land. We're gonna pass. Dawnbringer Cleric. Okay. Yes. Probably going to exile something from my graveyard. Or maybe to gain 2 life. No, that's what I thought. Exiling. Then passing. I will play the Azure Fleet Admiral. We can start drawing cards. Here we go. For example, we finally get our 5th land, so the next turn we can boomerang and then turf wound. They will also start drawing drawing cards because they get the Monarch, since now they just lightning bolt the Azure Fleet Admiral, but I need to start drawing as well. I will be able to get it back at some point, I think. I hope. So they do ramp more. So the plan is a bit difficult for me here because it's difficult for me to bounce everything, but we can still continue bouncing back their lands, their tap lands. They counter spell. Okay. I'm gonna on their upkeep. We are going to cast Turf Wound and draw a card. So now we have another mountain. We need blue sources, but this is not what we are getting right now. They have to discard. Okay, another blue source. That's good. Now we are going to pass, and then we are going to be able to cast Eye of Nowhere, then Solfatara, so that they cannot play more lands. So we are going to cast Solfatara, targeting them. They will counterspell, but we can... unfortunately, I forgot that Eye of Nowhere is a sorcery, so I think we can go move to game 2 against them. All right, let's get into this game. Now, because this deck is quite salty, I mean, just like Ponza, people tend to have a little bit of... they don't necessarily want to play against it, which is fair enough. If I just play in Pauper practice tournament, then people tend to then concede rather quickly. But we're gonna give it a shot. It is still a fun deck to play. Now we're gonna play an island and then we're gonna pass. A red source would be nice to have right now, but we still have the Hoodwink for turn 2. We can bounce their lands. Even better, bouncing a tap land. Another Hoodwink. So we will cast Hoodwink now, and then we're going to pass. This is not what I needed, but we will play Hoodwink again. I need another land as well. This would have been good to have another land. This way we would have been able to start getting more resources than them. But here we have another island. That's good. It's not a mountain, which would have been better, but we can still start, for example, then using ice on their upkeep. They still haven't drawn any land. I find it quite crazy. But we're basically in the same position right now. So clean up, they have to go to discard. Fury Cannonade. I cannot play any spells right now, so I'll pass. Now the Azorius Chancery against my deck is quite a disadvantage for them. Once I have something else that I can bounce their land with, yes, the Azorius Chancery becomes quite painful to play. Unfortunately, I also am in the same position as them. So we will discard Turf Wound. Oops. We're not going to cast it on us. We're going to go to cleanup and then discard it. Now I'll be able to play Tolarian Terror next turn if I don't draw anything. Seagate Oracle. It happens. Cannot do anything against this. Unfortunately, looks like that they whiffed. Or maybe not. Oh, no, they didn't. I mixed Seagate Oracle and Augur of Bolas. Perfect. Now we have a mountain. Great. Now I think bouncing the Chancery would be cool if I had a spell to do it. I think we're going to play the Azor Fleet Admiral, gaining the Monarch, and then we're going to be able to draw a card at the end of the turn. Now I am tapped out. I don't have anything to do. Oof, Journey to Nowhere. They will gain the Monarch, which is okay. I will be able to play the Tolarian Terror. So Core Sky Fisher. Bouncing back the island. All right, so I'm going to play an island. Now, we are going to... Now, I can keep the upkeep. On upkeep, I can bounce... Or maybe it's better to do it now. To bounce the Azorius Chancery on the upkeep, we cast Solfatara or Turf Wound. Next turn, we start playing the Tolarian Terrors. Yeah, I think this is what I'll do. So I'll move to end step. Then I'm going to bounce the Chancery. Or I could have bounced the Journey to Nowhere. That might have been better. I forgot that this is return target permanent. But now we're going to move to the upkeep. And then we are going to cast Solfatara. Oops, not targeting me, targeting them. Now, next time I have something that I can bounce, for sure going to get back the Azorius. Or I can just cast the Terran Terror and then hopefully start attacking, because I can play the 2 terrors and then still keep the Turf Wound for the next turn so that they can't play any lands. They have to discard 3 cards. So I'm going to draw a card this turn, a Snap and a Terror. So we are going to play 1 Terror, another Terror. Then we are going to pass the turn. And we're going to play Turf Wound on their upkeep. Making sure that they do not continue ramping. And an Eye of Nowhere. Perfect. So we will be able to get the Azorius Fleet Admiral. We cannot block the Core Fisher. Okay. 2 Muldrifter that they discarded. That's perfect. Now we are going to move to combat. Swinging the 2 terrors. We will gain the Monarch. Now I will bounce back. 1, 2. There's going to be 3 mana. I will be able to then snap, then ice. So I could right now Fury Cannonade and then fire. Yeah, I think this is, but they'd probably have counter spells. Let's give it a shot. We are going to tap for 3. We are going to Fury Cannonade. Then we are going to snap 1 of the terrors. I know it's a weird play. I just want to kill the Core Fisher and the Seagate Oracle by untapping the mountain. And then those 2 we can cast into the fire. We're going to select the 2 creatures and deal 1 damage to both of them. Killing them both. But they might have a negate or counter spell. Flicker of Faith. Interesting. Okay. So they flickered the Seagate Oracle, but the Core Sky Fisher dies. And we pass the turn. Inspiring Overseer. We will declare no blocks because we don't have any, and it will steal the Monarch from us. We will play an island. We are going to move to combat. We are going to swing the Tolarian Terror. We are going to take the Monarch. That's good. Now, second main phase, we're going to play 1 Terror. Then, now we have 1, 2, 3. I think that's going to be enough. We're going to draw a card. We are then going to, pretty sure, boomerang the Idyllic Beachfront. Move to their turn. And then Solfatara them so that they cannot play lands. That way they will be able to take the Monarch, going to 10 cards if they cannot play anything else. We are down to 11, but I will be able to tap the Seagate Oracle if they don't do anything. Otherwise, even play the Eye of Nowhere and then potentially win the game. So we draw. We're going to play the mountain. We are going to try to cast Ice, targeting the Seagate Oracle. And then we win. Now, sideboard. We could bring Active Volcano. Fury Cannonade will not be needed. Cast into the Fire, not needed as well, because we have the Active Volcano. And then we could even potentially add one fade away if they have a lot of creatures. Instead of a cast into the fire, we're going to add a fade away. And we're going to get rid of 2 snap and play 2 other fade away. Game 2. This is a crap hand. I mean, I love the mana, but having only 1 hoodwink would be devastating. We're going to have to mulligan the second one time. This is not what we want, but we're going to have to keep. Then we are going to have to put the Azor Fleet Admiral as well as a Valerian Terror on the bottom. Definitely not the kind of a hand we like to see, but we're going to have to deal with this one. We're going to play a mountain and then pass. All right, an island. That's good. We're going to play the island. Now, at their upkeep, I'm going to tap one of their lands. Just so that I can potentially slow them down and then draw a card. If they don't, that's okay. I will still draw a card. This is good. Boomerang. I mean, I would prefer having a another blue now, another island, so that we can play the boomerang. But then we'll be able to play the Turf Wound next turn anyway, to slow them down. Now that they play the Chancery, which is good for us, I will be able to, I think if I draw a blue source, I'm going to bounce the, okay, it's not, it's another Turf Wound. We're going to play it, and then we're going to move to their upkeep. They will have to counterspell if they want to play lands, but it's going to make them lose basically a turn. Spell Pierce, I will not pay. So I thought they were going to play maybe a counterspell, but now with just one, it is not too damaging for them, but it's okay. We can still, it is not backbreaking. They still cannot play anything else. So here, for example, I'm going to play the Aven Fogbringer, and then we're going to bounce the Azorius Chancery. Now another land will make us, we're going to be able to then play the little 5-mana combo that this deck has. So playing Boomerang and then Turf Wound to try to disrupt their game plan as much as we can. We're going to go to combat. We're going to swing for 2. And then move to their upkeep. We are going to tap for 3. We are going to play Turf Wound. They will Spell Pierce again. That's okay. Nope, we're not going to pay. And then they're going to move to their turn. Another idyllic beachfront. You know, you see, this is how it goes. We just punish people playing a lot of tap lands. Hoodwink. Okay, so now here, I'm going to move to combat. I'm going to go to their upkeep. Now, try it again. Turf Wound. Now it works. We have the Swiftwater Cliffs. That's good. We needed another land, and especially another blue source, because with the Hoodwink and Boomerang, we can then start bouncing everything back to their hands. Inspiring Overseer. Then we're going to move to our turn. Now, I think here I'm simply going to play an Aven Fogbringer, and we're going to bounce their tap land. Then we're going to move to combat and then pass. Now here I will block because they do want to blink their stuff. So worst case scenario, they blink it. And best case scenario, they don't and I kill it. But obviously that's what they want to do. So they blinked using Flicker of Fate. And now they're going to go to clean up. Solfatara, nice. Okay, here we are going to tap for 2. In main phase, or let's move to combat first. Swing for 4. That is perfect. So now this is our best moment for us to then use Boomerang, targeting the Eidetic Beachfront. Now they only have 1 blue source, so Counterspell will not be something we're going to have to face. Now we're going to move to our end step. And then on their upkeep, we're going to cast Solfatara. Upkeep, we are going to cast Solfatara, then denying them of their resources. So they're getting back lives. Now it would be good to draw into some of our card draw engine, like the Monarch, so the Azorf Admiral, so Fleet Admiral, or the Tolarian Terror. That would be also great. But still now, we do have Hoodwink and Boomerang. We can just bounce back their lands again. We have active Volcano if they play islands here. That's perfect. So we're going to play the Swiftwater Cliffs, gaining a life. And then we are going to move to combat. We are going to swing for 4. And then while they are tapped out, we are going to tap for 1. 2, bouncing back. And now while we're at it, we can also then just bounce back a plains, passing the turn. They replay the plains. Journey to Nowhere. Now, it would be really nice if I can draw into one of my bounce spells, so I can even bounce the Journey to Nowhere, bounce back another land with the Even Fogbringer that's going to be there. Now go to our turn. They have to go to cleanup. Tolarian Terror. That is a good card. For 1, we're going to play the Tolarian Terror. And then move to combat. Swing for 2. Bringing them back to 11. And we're going to pass. They will play an island. Now for 1 red mana, I am going to return the island, since potentially they wanted to play a Seagate Oracle main phase, and now they might not be able to. Potentially also something else as well, but in case it was something like the Seagate Oracle, we can bounce the island while we're in combat. This way, it reduces the chance for them to float the mana. Now they have to use it for instant speed shenanigans. So they did end up deciding on not using it, not using the island, and then simply let it go back to their hands. They have to go to cleanup again. Okay, Boomerang. Now we are going to go to combat. Attack for 7. We're going to pass the turn and Boomerang their Journey to Nowhere if they tap out their mana. For instance, here, Boomerang, Journey to Nowhere, which then returns the Aven Fogbringer, and then we're going to bounce back their islands. Back to their hand. Now they have a blocker in the air, so they will survive one more turn, depending on what I draw. But if I draw any bounce or tapper, then we can tap the Inspiring Overseer to just swing for 4 in the air. Turf Wound is not what was needed, but it's okay. We will go to combat, swing with everything, and on their upkeep, we're going to play Turf Wound. So they won't be able to play islands. They're the island that is back into their end. We're going to go to the end step. On their upkeep, we are going to tap for 3 and play Turf Wound. Ah, this deck is mean. We're going into another match. This is not in a hand I can keep. I'm going to mulligan. We need at least 2 land. That is good. All right. I'm going to keep. I don't. Let's put the Turf Wound back. I don't have the mana to play it anyway. So right now, so we can simply keep it as it is with the blue mana. Haunted Mire. We're going to play an island, and then we're going to pass. Now, Izzet Golgari Garden. Looks like, from the look of it, it looks like it. Yeah, it is. Okay. I mean, Colony Garden is not a land I would necessarily want to have untapped, to bounce back, sorry. But let's bounce the Haunted Mire. And passing. And they cycle the Troll for a Swamp. Okay. Now that means they will be able to play the Swamp. Okay, we don't have a blue source. Blah. And then... But we can still pass, and hopefully we draw another land next turn. We can start playing either the Azor Fleet Admiral or the Aven Fogbringer. Crypt Rats. Well, surprise, surprise. I don't play a lot of problematic creatures. We're going to have to cast Boomerang. And then pass. They attack for 1. Another land. Okay, so now we are going to cast the Aven Fogbringer, bouncing their Haunted Mire. They cast Fungal Infection, killing the Aven Fogbringer. This is okay. I could still slow them down. Now they can attack for 2, which I will take. 3 Fleet Admiral. They will be able to kill the Fleet Admiral, but I don't have any else. Or I could just play the Tolarian Terror? Ah, it cost too much. Oops. Nope. Oh, sorry about that. Alright, I'm going to then just play the Fleet Admiral. We can take back with other Fleet Admirals the Monarchy, so let's just give it a shot. We're gonna draw maybe into a red source, which will be great. They snuff out. That's okay. Next turn we'll be able to play another one. Take it back. They will draw a card at the end step, but this is completely okay. Yeah, no more Visionary. Okay, so they play Snap. So we could play Snap. Then Azure Fleet Admiral to bounce back the Yanowar Visionary. They will draw another card out of it, but at least they won't get to ramp. I'm going to first play Snap. Untapping 2. Then we are going to play the Azure Fleet Admiral. Getting back the Monarchy. Fury Cannonade is really good here. With all their pesky little creatures. Now, the only thing missing would be a red source. Let's hope for one. So now we have 3 sorcery and instances in the graveyard. So we'll be able to soon cast the Tolarian Terror. But really, what I would need right now is a blue source. They'll be able to attack. If they attack with the Crypt Rats will die. I don't think they would want to sacrifice the Crypt Rats right now. But maybe I'm wrong. Bajuka Bog. Well, never mind on the plan of playing Tolarian Terror. Okay, they pass. All right. Now we still need... Still need a red source. I'm going to cast Ice on... Not on my land. I'm going to cast Ice. Let's hope for a blue source. We're going to tap whatever the Crypt Rats for 2. Drawing a card. Hoodwink. We are going to, you know what, tap and bounce Haunted Mire to their hands. So this way, if they have no lands in their hand, they won't be able to play. Or they will be able to play the Avenger. Oh, another blue. Okay, come on, red source. I need red source. Now, what will they do? They play a forest. Then, oh, the Troll of Khazan Doom. Interesting. It's another island. Well, I'm going to play the other island. And now I can hard cast the Tolarian Terror. then we're gonna pass. Drawing a mountain? Another island. Yay. Now they will be able to kill our creatures, but they will have to kill their troll as well. Now they get the monarch. Luckily, with the Azure Fleet Admiral, I can just attack for 3, get it back. Avenging Hunter. Okay. Yeah, this is a problem for sure. Now I'm slightly in a bad position with 9 life. Okay, I think that's it for me. For this game, I cannot do it. I can play another terror, but then he can just swing with everything. I will get. Oh, I will. Yeah, let's not give up too early. It's unblockable. And they snap it. Yeah, okay. Let's concede this one and then move to the sideboard. Now, what can we do? Okay. I win. Yay. Okay. And let's go to another match. Finally, a hand that makes sense. I'm going to keep this one. We're going to yield Ginger Brew. Nice. So I would guess this is Affinity. We're going to play Swiftwater Cliffs, getting 1 life and then passing. Ninjutsu. Interesting. Thraben Inspector. Curious what kind of deck that is. I'm going to play an island. Now, I can play fire against the Moon Circuit Hacker and the Ginger Root if they play it. Or I can bounce something at the end step. It's also okay. Darksteel Citadel. A Frogmite. That's okay. Another Frogmite. Thought. Yep. Now, will they play the Ginger Brute? That is good. I can just kill with fire. I think this is quite important right now. That we are going to need to cast fire, targeting those 2. Done. Can attack for 1. We're going to play a mountain. We're going to move to their turn and we're going to cast Sofa Tower. Now they cannot play lands. They can still attack for 5, which is yeah, slightly problematic, but let's see what we can do. Ornithopter. I think I'm gonna have to keep the Hoodwink for if they cast Glitter. All right, I'm gonna draw. We're gonna play Swiftwater Cliffs, gaining 1 life, and then we're gonna pass the turn. They cracked the clue. That's okay. Perfect. We're going to move the end step. We're going to go to the upkeep here, I think. Let's try Turf Wound again. They're going to attack for 5 again, but at least we're going to draw a card and then hopefully mine me another land, untap. Terror is also not bad. Springing Drum, Hammer Enforcer. Uh-oh. Attack for 5. Eye of Nowhere, so the Swiftwater Cliffs. Now we are going to Eye of Nowhere, the Mer Enforcer. Then Hoodwink, the Springleaf Drum. Metallic Rebuke, I think. Yeah, exactly. Okay. We'll not pay 3. And then we're going to pass. We definitely need to draw into our board wipes. But I think this will be game 1. Yes, this is game 1. Then let's move to game 2. Begin sideboarding. We are going to smash to dust. Fade away, fade away, fade away. Now, I think that's going to be that. We will get rid of 2 snaps and 1 Azure Fleet Admiral, as well as 1 Tolarian Terror. I would like to play. This is a good hand. We're going to keep. We're going to play the Swiftwater Cliffs and pass. Yeah, having a fadeaway now is also really good. We're going to play then an island, and then we're going to cast Boomerang on the Darksteel Citadel. Didn't have to go to cleanup, which is good for us. And then we're going to play the mountain, and then we're going to pass the turn. Frogmite. Okay. We're going to play an island, and then we are going to tap for 3. And then, whoops, cancel. For 4 mana, we are going to play a Azure Fleet Admiral, drawing a card at the end step because we gained a Monarchy. Nice, a mountain, that's good. Now we'll be able to play the fadeaway next turn because I'm pretty certain they will have, yeah, more stuff going on their board, like another Frogmite, and then maybe not. All that glitters on the Frogmite. Okay. I will have to block. Okay. Now I will play an island. First, we're going to play Fade Away. And then we're going to pass a turn drawing, hopefully into a bounce spell so we can bounce the Frogmite. And when they will pay 1 for the frog or the bigger Frogmite, but then they're going to have to sacrifice something, either a Frogmite or a land, which will make at least the Frogmite a bit smaller. Exactly. Now we're going to go to the end step, draw a card, and then cast into the fire. I will cast it right away, exiling the Frogmite. Now we're going to pass. Springleaf Drum. Then they're going to attack for 2. They will gain the Monarch. Oh, and then they will also draw a card from the Moon Circuit Hacker. Then they're going to play for free the Frogmite. They will be able to pay for the Fade Away for both, so I will not do it. Except if now they play something else, which would be perfect. Even like for 2 mana, they tap the Springleaf Drum. Yes, that's exactly what I like to see. Play a Mountain. So now we have 1, 2, 3. If I play the Fade Away, that's another 3. So we will have 4. Then it's going to cost 3. So let's first go for 1, 2, 3. We are going to Fade Away. They sacrifice 2 lands, or 1 land and a Springleaf Drum. And then for 3 mana, we are going to play a Tolarian Terror. Passing the turn. One Razortide Bridge. We're not going to block. They will draw a card at the end of the turn. We're going to play a Mountain. For 1, 2, 3, we are going to play the Tolarian Terror. We're going to move to combat. I think we're not going to go to combat. We can double block the Frogmite. And then at their upkeep, we can play the Solfatara. Or they will counter it. But they tapped out for it. Yeah. Okay. At least they tapped out for it. So they won't be doing much more, I guess. Except another bridge. So Frogmite, that now it's a 10-10. If they attack, I will double block. They do. So we will double block. Now let's hope I draw into something good. Hoodwink. Okay, okay. We're gonna pass. Keep this one open. I can bounce the Moon Circuit Hacker, but actually no. Frogmite both makes not much sense. But but it is what it is. All that glitters. I will bounce the Frogmite. At least we're not dead now. They play back the Frogmite, and we move to our turn. After their attack, obviously. I mean, we're still pulling our punches against one of the tier 1 decks, so I'm happy. Turf Wound. Yeah, this is GG. Except if we cast Turf Wound to draw something incredible, it's an island, and then we concede the match. So this was Extra Salty Surf and Turf. We ended up winning a few games. It was really fun, and I like this deck. However, it is extra salty and difficult to play in non-competitive, non-league games, because then people simply concede the game while facing boomerang and so on, just having their lands constantly bounce back to their hand. If you enjoy the content, please leave a like and subscribe. And otherwise, we're going to see each other in the next video.